Alright, just like that, another game. Switch from Omnath over to Edric. Just been talking with Nate about it, making some adjustments. Changing around the counters a little bit, actually. I don't think the deck's updated yet, but I removed just a couple things from it. And yeah, going second, pretty mediocre hand, but it has a few key things. First of all, Remand obviously is great. I have Phantasmal Image, which is pretty incredible actually against this guy, especially combined with Cyclonic Rift, another excellent card against Uril, because I can copy his guy and he can't target it. So I got it as an all-purpose blocker against him. Unfortunately, I need land to go with my draw. Again, I got Natural Order, and he leads with a Pilgrim going second. I draw Snapcaster, which is good combo with the Remand. Plays this guy. It's kind of weird, actually. You don't often see assorted creatures in Uril decks. They tend to be better if they're just ramp, card draw, enchantment searching, and of course key powerful enchantments to just throw on the guy. Just the faster you can get him out and start piling crap on him, the better the deck is, I think. I don't know where this guy fits in, other than that he's a very efficient body. Now my hand's starting to look disastrous. Don't have to discard yet, but it's really ugly. So he plays 3 land, and I thought long and hard about throwing out the mage. I wasn't honestly even sure if I wanted to Phantasmal Image. It probably wouldn't have been crazy to just cast Phantasmal Image on the Pilgrim right there, but I did want to Remand in case he casts something nasty. Plus, there's no question he's got a handful of enchantments, so the lifespan of Phantasmal Image on a non-hexproof creature is pretty short. So Snapcastering here wouldn't have been a terrible plan, given that it would slow him down for a turn, certainly, and he probably doesn't have anything else to do if he didn't play, I don't know, Judgment Call. But if I draw 2 land in a row after remanding, then I feel kind of dumb that I didn't get to use the Snapcaster for something more useful. He just says go, though. I guess it's just predicting the future. Plays that right in time for my Wasteland. And when he doesn't attack again after doing nothing last turn, I can pretty much safely assume he drew this on this turn, because he would have played it last turn given that he had nothing else to do, and because it prevented him from casting his Miststalker. And since I know that, and I know he didn't do anything last turn, I'm pretty safe to assume that I can just Snapcaster, block, and I'm going to have to discard anyway, of course, if I don't draw another land, and kill the land. So I'm going to do that. Block here. Boreal Druid, still no green. Situation critical. So what I hope for here is that he did in fact draw this last turn and has no more land, and I can slow him down long enough to draw some. And I've decided here, since I know I don't have to face Uril next turn, I can just play my guy, put up a blocker to keep him busy. Does have another tapped land, and after thinking for a while, he casts Hyena Umbra on my guy, which I think is bad move, right? I mean, why not play it on your guy? I can't block that way. And sure, I've got a 4/4, but my guy's just walking dead. It's not even useful for doing anything. So he does kill it, which I'm not terribly unhappy about at all. And this is really the last turn of the game if I don't draw land. And I don't. So how do I win from this position? This is one of the cards that I'm actually going to replace, bringing in Muddle the Mixture for it. Nate has been advocating for it for a while, and when you think about it in terms of the really powerful spells that Muddle fetches, including Jitte, Winter Orb, Cyclonic Rift, it gets Counterspell and Mana Drain, it gets Priest of Titania. It's just an amazing toolbox at 2 mana. It even gets this thing if you needed to clone something in a pinch. I think more, again, it's just sacrificing flexibility or early game efficiency for flexibility and power. But Spell Pierce has been pretty mediocre for me for a while. I'm not really crazy about it in this deck. So he plays Arena, and I'm thinking, or Ancient Amphitheater, and I'm thinking, cool, there's no way he has a giant in his hand. And then he shows me Sun Titan also. So yeah, this situation is pretty impossible. Here's Uril. Alright, this Remand I've been saving forever, and I get a forest, so there is some hope. Some very, very long-term hope. So I'm just going to have to take more punishment and let him cast his guy. I really was figuring he'd cast his Sun Titan, provided he had another land for it. But that early Wasteland saves me from getting Sun Titaned, which is pretty fantastic. And there's Uril again. Okay, so at least I've got some mana now. I can kind of staunch the bleeding here. I Did not draw another land, unfortunately. And after much debate for playing Tree Speaker and Bird and doing some other development, I decide it's better to just staunch the bleeding somewhat. Because if I'm going to recover, it's going to be a long recovery, and I can't probably do it at, 4 life or 5 life or something. Plus, this thing can just mash you for so much if it gains trample. And I can't target it. So I opposition that guy. And I figure, okay, he's just going to play Sun Titan here. That's alright, we got that covered, because I've got 2 more creatures. But he plays this instead, which I'm rather overjoyed to see, although it does telegraph something to me. When you think about why he would play Sun Titan, although he could have just gotten a Guildgate out. I just don't understand this play at all. I mean, granted, based on what I draw next, it works out extremely well for him. But, Treachery. Pretty incredible pull there. Alright, so, what do we do here? A lot of choices. I can level up the Tree Speaker and play a Bird, and just continue to tap his guys, but I'm really, really running out of time. The Natural Order, though, I have good plans for. We're certainly not doing anything with Terastodon. That's too dangerous. So, float a bunch of mana, Treachery the Simulacrum, untap. Level up. And play Bird. And I'm actually sitting on the Spell Pierce because my thought was actually looking at his land and the fact that he was so eager to play a Simulacrum over, say, the Sun Titan. I guess they both get land, but to me this made me feel like he had something in his hand that was expensive. And there's that horrible enchantment called Eldrazi Conscription that costs 8. And if he has that on this guy, and I don't have a way to stop it, I'm just instantly dead. So I figure, okay, I've got a blue mana here and Spell Pierce, so if he does have the Conscription, I can stop it. And I'm going to at least tap one of his lands during upkeep to shut him down. There's a 7th mana. Goes into attack step. I'm just going to tap that guy with the plans of blocking with the Simulacrum to draw a card. And I tap his Mountain, which, in retrospect, knowing that he has Sun Titan in his hand was kind of a stupid play. I should have just tapped the Plains, given that he already played a land. I know he can't cast Sun Titan. So I get Lapse. And here he casts Soul's Majesty, and here I am sitting with Spell Pierce in hand. 1 blue, I've played this perfectly, and I click too fast. Like a total baddie, and I let him just draw 5. So ridiculous. I could have prevented him from drawing 5 cards there, and he'd have only 2 cards in hand. Alright, what are we going to get? We do have a lot of mana now. There's 3 here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I actually have 10 now. So the Cyclonic Rift plan is in effect. I draw Jace. Very, very nice. After much deliberation here, I decided to cast Edric. And we're just going to let him have a turn because I have Memory Lapse now. And Priest of Titania is making boatloads of mana now. It's making 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. Oh yeah, that's right. Time for Natural Order. That was the reason why I tapped the Bird. I was going to tap my lands first and use the Bird for opposition. But then it dawned on me that Natural Order for... Well, what do you get? A lot of choices here. There's all the green dudes. Of course, the Terastodon is always tempting. And getting Terastodon would shut off at least the Sun Titan. I could blow up that and that and that. But the thing is, I'm so low in mana right now. Whew. That would be scary. Imagine killing the, leaving the Oran Reef up. And letting him get 3, 4, 4 elephants. Yeah, Terastodon, no good. We need something better right now. And there it is. Booyah. The ultimate combo with Winter Orb. I mean, with opposition. Zillions of chump blockers and opposition users as well. So we are suddenly feeling a lot more secure. We can at least shut off most of his meaningful mana. And during my upkeep, he taps this, floats a white. I switch to draw step, and he Path of Exiles the Hermit of all creatures. He kills the Hermit and not, say, Priest of Titania, which taps for 4 green. So amazing. Because now I don't even have to pay Echo, and I get a land from it. Let's go get a land. And I get to tap another land. So leaving one squirrel up to tap down his smiter. I'll take the 5, that's no problem. You cast Eyes of the Wizened. And look, I've been saving that Spell Pierce to stop that card specifically. There you go, buddy. Alright. Reflecting Pool, beautiful. Now we can actually think about attacking. And I actually just figure, I decide that, given that I've got Lapse to control his hand, 4 seems about like the right number. Claim, Elf, Predator. Simic Growth Chamber, let's get this guy out of here. So, still 4 blockers. Can certainly just chump block Uril this turn. But I actually think that it might be high time now for the inevitable Cyclonic Rift. And once I've stopped all of his red mana, he can't recast Uril if he does it during the attack step. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to play an elf and say done. During upkeep, tap the red mana. Place a hideaway land. Here they come. Tap an elf for 5. Pretty disgusting. Cyclonic Rift. Let me go back to his... And I actually... Yeah, it was sort of weird the way that the steps work. I was obviously planning on tapping his white mana with my... at least with my squirrel and probably with this guy too. Tapping those 2 down during his attack step so he couldn't recast the smiter. But, yeah, I was just going to tap off his white. But it just, as soon as the cards went back to his hand, there was no blocker, step, or anything. It just went straight to post-combat. But I don't care about Oblivion Ring at all, because I have Nature's Claim. And I'll tap his stuff, I guess. And he ends his turn, and I claim his thing. 3 seems right, because now we're in full land lockdown mode. It's Jace time. You get 2 land and Garrick. Very happy to throw those lands away. Tap Priest for Garrick. Make a beast. And that guy. So now I have 7 tappers versus 9 land. I guess he has 10 land in play. Yeah, I think he's going to have a hard time beating me with 2 forests. And he agrees, and that is the game. Pretty awesome comeback there, given how dire things were in the early going when I was facing down 4/4 and a Hexproof Miststalker with, I think, 3 land in play, one of which was a wasteland. I guess maybe that was the turn afterward, but either way, I think pretty well managed game right there. A few key spells wound up winning it for me. Hope you enjoyed watching it. More to come.